welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the luxury items that I had in my collection, but I ended up selling. So they are no longer in my collection, and I think it's important to share things that we do like, but also things that we end up not liking or things that we end up changing our mind on. Especially if I can help you guys save some money, I definitely want to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to share with you guys, for whatever reason, it's no longer in my collection. If you guys are new around here, welcome. My name is Andrea. I typically do videos all about beauty, sometimes some fashion, sometimes a little bit of luxury. So if those are topics that interest you, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the post notification bell button so you are aware every single time I post a new video. We got a good variety of stuff. It's not just handbags. So let's go ahead and get started. So I don't usually regret a lot of purchases I buy. I really try to think about my purchases and stuff, but sometimes you end up having FOMO, or sometimes you just buy things that you thought you were gonna love, but you don't end up loving as much. And I'm definitely one of those people that it's like, if it's just collecting dust in my collection, I'm gonna sell it just because I want to try to get as much money back as I can, the quickest as I can. But also I typically end up using that money to fund something else that I actually truly love. So I definitely don't just hold on to stuff just to hold on to stuff. So we'll go ahead and get started with a pair of Christian Louboutin heels. So I actually didn't unbox them. I don't think I unboxed them here with you guys, but if you follow me on Instagram, I will leave it right here if you guys don't. I did do an unboxing of those shoes on Instagram because I ended up getting them for a ridiculous deal. I think it was like under $200 because I had a Nordstrom's gift card and it was during a sale. But it's this pair right here. I actually really do love these Christian Louboutin heels. I think they're a classic, really pretty go-to shoe, but I bought them and then I never used them. So I bought them thinking that I was gonna use them for like a special occasion or something, and I just didn't end up using them. And then I ended up getting a different pair of like nude pumps that I would use for work. So I wasn't using those Christian Louboutin heels, not even for work. They were literally just sitting in the box. And even though they were such a good deal and I feel like it's a classic, really pretty shoe, I just felt like I could use that money or put that money towards something else. So I did end up selling them on Poshmark. I ended up making all of my money back plus $25. So I wasn't hurt about it, but it's one of those purchases that it's like, although technically it is a really good item, and although it's an item that you could possibly get a lot of use of, there's a lot of difference between possibly getting use of and then actually getting use of. And I had them for months and I was just not using them. I wasn't wearing them anywhere. So instead of just having them collect dust there, I figured I would sell them and get my money back. Another pair of shoes that I did end up selling, I did talk about in my luxury purchases from 2021, best to worst. So I ended up selling my Chanel Sport Flyer sneakers. It's this pair right here. And like I mentioned in that video, it was mostly due to operator error. I loved those shoes. I think they are such a pretty style. I think it's such a classic style. They were actually comfortable. And if I could have the opportunity to buy a similar pair again, I would, because I like the price. I think it was under $1,000, but right now in the retail market, or like the secondhand market, it's just way too much. But the reason I ended up selling those is not because I didn't like them, not because I wasn't gonna get use out of them. I actually wanted to wear them more, but because the size was just a size too small. I ended up converting French sizing to thinking it was European sizing, and then converted it to US sizing, and it was just totally off and it was too tight. So like the shoe, the back of the shoe was like literally rubbing up against the back of my ankle. And if you've ever had shoes that kind of rub like that, it's not a pleasant feeling, and it's not a feeling that goes away. It just gets worse and more tender as it continues to rub. So it wasn't a horrible purchase either. Chanel tends to hold its value pretty well, but I am sad that I miscalculated the sizing on that because it was a gorgeous shoe, and if it had fit right, I still definitely would have it in my collection today. One more pair of shoes to talk to you guys about. Again, I think this is an item that I unboxed on TikTok and Instagram, not here on YouTube. So if you're not following me there, sometimes I will do unboxings on TikTok and Instagram as well, and maybe just throw it in on YouTube, maybe not even share it on YouTube. So I highly recommend you follow me if you are not. But I did end up picking up the Gucci rubber slides, these right here. I really ended up liking those slides. I liked how they look. I liked how they wore. I liked that they were rubber and super low maintenance. You can spill anything on them and you can wipe it off. And they were actually insanely comfortable for 2 hours. After that, it started getting painful, and I'm not sure if my foot, just like the base of my foot, is too wide or it was too fat, but like my foot would go in perfectly. And like I said, for the first 2 hours, nothing. It was like a cushion. It was just really easy because it's rubber, you know. But after a while, I started noticing that maybe because of the heat, my foot expanded or the rubber got tighter or something like that, because the rubber part right here would start rubbing up against my foot. And once again, it's rubber, so it's not like really malleable. It's just a thick piece of rubber, so it stays there. And after a while, I would notice that it would just rub right here, and again it would just rub it like really tender, but it ended up rubbing just too much that it became really uncomfortable. And although I could wear them for 1 or 2 hours, these were shoes that I ended up buying because I wanted them to be like my summer go-to sandal, just running around town or like going shopping or something, because it has such a small heel and it was very comfortable. So if I wasn't able to wear them for long periods of time like I initially wanted to, it really didn't serve a purpose in my collection, or the purpose that I wanted to get them for in my collection. That's another pair of shoes that I ended up selling. So sticking with Gucci, I did get rid of one of my Gucci bags. If you watch my designer handbag collection from 2021, I think this one right here, if not, I will leave a link down below. You can see my designer handbag collection at that time. I do have to do an updated video because my collection has changed quite a bit, but in that video, I did share with you guys one of my Gucci bags that I had for a while. That was the Gucci Marmont Small in the hibiscus red color. And I really did like that bag. I loved how you could just like press the lock and it would unlock. I love how it was like an open top, and it actually fit a good amount of stuff. Like I could fit my cell phone, my wallet. You could fit a long wallet if you wanted to like take up space, little makeup pouch, hand sanitizer. You could just fit a good amount of stuff. I loved the gold chain on it because it just kind of gave it a little extra oomph versus like a really casual camera bag. It did come with like a leather strap bit, so you can wear it as like a shoulder bag, as a crossbody bag. I really did like that bag. The red was super vibrant to it, and it added something to every look, and I loved wearing it with jeans, like whites, blacks. It just went so well. The reason I ended up selling that one though is after I got this bag, the Gucci Marmont camera bag, I noticed I was leaning more towards this bag because every time I would have a casual outfit, I felt like I wanted a more casual bag to go with that, like a more camera style bag and something just easy. And this is the one that I get the most use out of. It's also white, so it really just goes with everything, especially in the summer as well. So I ended up reaching for that one more. And I do think that this camera bag, because it's the small size, but it opens up, I do think it fits a little bit more than the Marmont Small, the like flap open one. So I would constantly reach for that one. And although the red, I don't think is like just a summer color or just a fall color or something like that, I feel like you can incorporate it a lot. I felt like I was only getting use out of it like during the summer months, and I really wouldn't lean towards using it in like the winter or fall months. And then around that time, I did end up really wanting to add the Gucci Dionysus into my collection. And I wasn't getting the use out of that one, or I wasn't as in love with it as when I first purchased it. So I ended up letting that one go. If I had to pick between a Gucci Marmont, I would definitely say that my Gucci camera bag gets a lot more use, or I get a lot more use, and I like it a lot more in my collection than I did the red one. So the next item, I really toyed around the idea of letting this go for quite some time, and I just recently let it go. If you watched my what I got for Christmas video for 2020, I think it was, you would have seen this product on there. But yeah, it's no longer in my collection. So I did part ways with my Burberry thermal jacket. When I unboxed that for Christmas, because it was a Christmas gift for my husband, when I unboxed that one on Christmas, I mentioned to you guys that I really liked it because it's thermal regulated, so it's supposed to keep you warm. I like the check on the inside. I like the quilting of the outside, and I really do like it. I do like the look of that, but I feel like I just was not getting enough use out of that. So for example, so I live in Minnesota, so we have like really extreme winters. That was not going to be a winter item, even though it's thermal regulated, because there's no hood on it. Even if there was a hood on it, I mean, it's just not going to keep you warm enough for like the Minnesota winters. So I was like, okay, so this is strictly a fall piece, because then spring comes around and then there's rain. And again, there's no hood on it, so it's just going to get all rainy. And it is waterproof on the outside, but I just felt like, ugh, like bringing it outside in the rain. And then it didn't really serve a purpose because, like I said, there's no hood put on it to cover you up. So it was solely going to be a fall jacket. So I was okay with it just being a fall jacket, but then the fall came around and I was realizing that I wasn't using it as a fall jacket. I would have to consciously force myself to wear this jacket just because everything I wanted to wear, like my shoes or like the handbag or something else, I feel like did not go with that aesthetic or that look. Even though I did like it, I feel like I was actively trying to force myself to wear that jacket, and I would end up being like, no, I don't like this, I'm just gonna wear something else. Like I said, I had it all through 2021 and I would try to force myself, but even then I wore it maybe like 3 or 4 times max. Like you don't even see it that much in my Instagram because I just would not wear it that much or that often. Just wasn't getting use out of it, and instead of letting it collect more dust and more time or whatever, I decided to sell it. And then the very last item I sold, I feel like you guys are gonna be shocked about this. Do not judge me, but I had to make this decision and I think I made the right one. So a couple months ago, I unboxed my first and only Christian Dior purchase, and since then I decided to sell it. So it is this bag right here, the Dior Oblique 2-in-1 pouch. I meant everything I said in that video. When I went and got it, I had every intention of keeping that bag. I had every intention of using that bag. I love the versatility of it. I love that you can use it as a belt bag, as a pouch, as a crossbody bag. You can interchange straps with that. I still stand by all of those statements. The thing I realized with that one was 2 big issues that I had with that one that I didn't notice until I started using it more or until I had it in my collection more. Number one is that the space really limited me. Like I have mini bags, but for some reason I could fit more in those bags than I could in the Dior 2-in-1 pouch. And I think it's because the Oblique is so stiff, like it doesn't really leave much room to be malleable or to like stick things in there. I could not fit a card holder. Like my YSL small card holder, I could not fit that in there if I wanted my phone to fit, and if I wanted like a hand sanitizer, or if I wanted like a small makeup pouch. And I would have to go for like events, like formal events or stuff like that. I wouldn't pick that bag because then I couldn't bring a little makeup pouch, or I was very concerned about the inside because the inside is still that oblique print. It's like it's like the fabric material. It's not like leather on the inside or you can just wipe it clean. So I wouldn't pick that bag for those events. So then for casual occasions, I really wasn't using that bag. I had to consciously like be like, okay, if I'm gonna take this bag, I can't bring this, I can't bring this, I can't bring that. Or it has to be like a gloomy day where I can't bring my sunglasses, or I gotta leave them in the car. And it was just like a lot of like, oh my gosh, I really have to work to try to like use this bag. And the other thing that happened with that bag is the flap on it. So it does have like the CD and then you push it down. I noticed it the first time I opened the bag, but I thought I had just put it in the wrong way or something like that. It's one just like little like stick popping out. It wouldn't automatically close on the first time. So you really had to like sit there and like keep pushing it down, or you had to like jimmy rig it around to make sure that it went into the hole properly and then it actually closed. So on top of the fact that it was like you will already have to think about what you're gonna use and what outfit and its fabric, when you're shopping or when you're out and about, you have to like really make sure that your bag is actually gonna close, because if you just assume it's closed, it could be like popping open. Those things combined just kind of made it a really high maintenance bag, a more high maintenance bag than I wanted it to be. And I think I mentioned in the beginning when I got that bag, I'm not really a wallet on a chain kind of person because I know myself, like that's a very limited amount of space. But I figured because the Dior Oblique was fabric and it was a little bit more square than the Chanel one, I could probably stick a couple more things in there. But no, it was very limiting what to put on there, and that's just not something I like to do. I'm not horribly heartbroken about it. I think it was still a way better choice to lose out $175 but recoup most of my money back, instead of just having that bag sit there, accumulate dust, maybe keep losing its value, and me just not using it. I can use those funds to fund something else that actually makes me very happy. All right, you guys, so that is it for today's video. Leave it down in the comments if any one of these shocked you, or if you thought I still had them in my collection. Let me know also if this has happened to you, that you've bought an item and you're just like, oops, I loved it for like a couple of weeks, I had to sell my money or something like that. I'm definitely curious to know. I'm sure I'm not the only one. It happens sometimes, but we gotta learn from each other and save each other some money. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff is gonna be left down below for you guys, as well as coupon codes to help you save some money. I will link all of these items in case you guys are curious, and in case you still want the item, I will have it linked down below for you guys as well. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Stay safe, and I will see you all in my next one.